Mr. Danley, I agree with all of what you said in your opening statement on the topics that most Americans think about when they think about the Department of Energy, things like infrastructure and permitting reform and electricity power generation. I want to focus, though, on the last thing you mentioned there, the national labs, which overlaps with my work as chairman of the Intelligence Committee. I think a lot of Americans probably don't appreciate that the Department of Energy is in charge of all these national labs that do exquisite research into nuclear energy or quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and other things. I think they'd be shocked to know that last year 40,000 foreigners visited these national labs, and fully 1/5 of those, 8,000, were from Russia and China. Doesn't seem to me like the smartest step to be letting Russian and Chinese scientists into our national labs. What do you think, Mr. Danley?
Yeah, of course, Senator, I completely agree with that. And when you say the word visited, we don't just mean passing through. We mean actually conducting science in close proximity to the scientists that are already working at the labs. The national labs are fundamental not just to the research and science that I mentioned a second ago, but they also have national security missions. And it is, when I first learned about the number of adversarial nations scientists that are at the national labs, I was so surprised by it that I thought at first that I didn't hear correctly. It was shocking, the number. And it's not just a matter of losing the scientific and technical edge I talked about, it's also a matter of grave national security interest that has to be looked at and if necessary, dealt with.
I think most Americans would be shocked to know that 1 out of every 5 foreign scientists visiting our national labs were from China and Russia. And also, although not in its large numbers, they come from places like Iran and Cuba and North Korea as well. Do you know how many American scientists get to go to Russia and China's equivalents of national labs?
None.
The answer would be 0. That does not seem to me to be reciprocal, to use a term that the president likes. That's why on the Intelligence Committee for years, it's been a matter of bipartisan concern that our national labs seem to allow these scientists in. They almost seem to compete to bring them in because the decisions are made at the lab level, not at the level of what you might call the headquarters element of the Department of Energy, drawing on your own intelligence unit and the intelligence community more broadly. I have legislation to address this problem. I bet a lot of the problem, though, can be addressed by you and the Secretary. So can I get your commitment, Mr. Danley? You'll take a look at the legislation, you'll see what needs to be done to address this threat, and do as much as you can with your existing authorities once confirmed?
Absolutely. If I should be lucky enough to be confirmed, I'll work with you to deal with this problem.
Thank you. The second topic I want to address, again, something that a lot of Americans probably don't think about when they think about the Department of Energy, is the National Nuclear Security Administration, NNSA. But it's about half of the department's budget. They do a lot of very important work for our nuclear weapons arsenal, a lot of research, a lot of production. One thing in particular that they do is the production of plutonium pits for nuclear weapons. We've had a challenge with this for years. We were supposed to get to the point where we could produce 80 new plutonium pits by 2030 under the Biden administration. That slipped to 2035. Can I get your commitment that you'll advocate for NNSA to get all the budgetary resources it needs to perform its vital mission?
So the NNSA is one of the fundamental elements of American national security. The weapon stockpile is the ultimate instrumentality of sovereignty for the United States, and I commit to doing everything I can to ensure, should I be confirmed, that NNSA's mission is discharged fully.
And specifically trying to get back to 80 pits, what they need to do so in the New Mexico and South Carolina facilities? So
I am not certain, because I am not at the Department of Energy, what the necessity is regarding the rate or level of pit production, but it is fundamental to our weapons stockpile, and I absolutely commit to doing everything I can to ensure that the duties are discharged.
Okay, thank you. Senator Heinrich.